Hey, Tom here, FlipAnythingUSA. Just kind of an impromptu live broadcast here. We're going to have one tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central. Anyways, I thought I had a little time here, so I thought I'd, looks like we got a very bad connection. I hope people can hear me. Please chime in if you can. I'm not sure why we got such a bad connection. So I thought it'd be interesting to talk about a thing. I actually had a pretty rough day here, pretty rough couple of days. Not necessarily with construction, not necessarily with real estate. I do a lot of other things besides that. But once in a while you get people that are more trouble than they're worth. And you can be compassionate and try to help people or try to use people and give them a break and utilize them, but you kind of justify helping people because you want to help them. I don't know how you're inclined, but for me, I like to help people, and I'll help them to a fault, and then at some point I'm like, okay, business, you're done, and I do that. But I've got a number of people in my life in different business dealings where I've tried to help them, give them a break. But you know what? At some point, if gratitude is this big and you've been that helpful, then it's time to say goodbye. And so, and I'm talking about subcontractors and different things. But at some point, listen, it's a business, and I do, listen, I try to be strictly business. I really am a businessman, for sure I am. But I try to be compassionate. So I try to understand if people are having a problem, you know what? It could be somebody that has a drinking problem. It could be somebody that has a drug problem, because I have a lot of different businesses. Or it can be somebody that is just simply, for whatever reason, they're just mentally constrained from common sense or whatever. I'll give them a break. But today's been a breakthrough day. For me, I finally said, you know what, I'm done. You can only, they say you can, lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So anyways, you can't, sometimes, they say that you can't be your brother's keeper, right? So anyways, like I say, I've had alcoholics, I've had all kinds of different problems of different peoples and different trades, and a lot of them do pull out, and a lot of them are cool. And so I always try to take that step of a little more patience, maybe than I'm really normally capable of, a little more patience, and I've been glad for it. I have no regrets. But once in a while, you begin to fool yourself that somebody is worthy of your grace, if you want to call it that. So anyways, I have there's a couple of people that I'm cutting loose today, and so anyways, but things are good. Let's talk about real estate. I don't know if anybody's got any questions, or maybe they got this is kind of an impromptu deal, so it doesn't have to be all real estate if you don't want it to be. I'm a big guy on psychology. I love the psychology of sales. I love psychology in general. I always try to, I try to think out of the box best I can. I try to make money in a lot of different ways, and I've got some things I'm going to be sharing with my audience here pretty soon. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because I am going to reward my subscribers. I've got something really cool coming. So anyway, does anybody have a question? I don't care what it is, just anything. I know Tandal, if I'm saying it right, he was writing about, he said he had a apartment complex he could buy at about a 9.25% cap. I was trying to confirm, I guess he said the cap rate was based on an 8% vacancy. So, basically, that doesn't sound too bad from the point of an investor buying. But of course, we're trying to go beyond that. We're trying to get a little bit better deal than even an investor would demand, so that when we tie up something or go to buy something, we want it to be such a good deal that we can clear 10 or 20% when we sell to an investor. And if we sell to what I call a retailer, or somebody that would pay full value, we want to make maybe 30%. So anyways, that's always the goal. Try to get it 30% under retail market so you can make 20%, so an investor can buy it and clear 10%, or at least buy it and hold it and feel good about, that he got a decent deal. So, and I've got various triggers going off here on my camera here saying poor connection, very bad connection. Can everybody hear me? I don't even know. Last time I showed, it looked like there was quite a few people watching. Please just write in and say I hear you or you don't hear me. If you don't hear me, I'll just go ahead and cut it short. Okay, I hear you. Yes, I hear you. Let's see. You know what? I didn't see that last one. That was kind of a lengthy request on that last one. But I got my readers here. Whoever wrote that last one, write it again. I appreciate people can hear me. So look, you know what? What cities are you from? Tell me right now. Where are you from? Just your city or state or whatever. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, you got Rick, Wisconsin, El Paso, Tony. Oh, I didn't know that, Tony. That's good. Texas is booming. Who else? Okay. So look, hey, Tony, Texas is booming. In Texas right now, even in El Paso, it's growing. You probably got a good opportunity there to make a lot of money. And what I'm talking about is looking at, go look into the properties. You need to get familiar with your tax assessor's office, or get online and see if you can look at the tax assessor's records, or it's the taxing authority, the people that set the value of your property, or what they think the value is, and then they taxed you based on that value. So look up tax assessor's office in El Paso. Do it tonight. Don't waste any time. You know how I am. You do it right now. Inconvenient, doesn't matter. You get it done. Go look up Texas value. Look up the Texas tax assessor's office, and try to look up the value of the property that you're living in. I don't care if you rent, if it's an apartment, whatever. Your home, your mom's place, your dad's place. I know that I know you're one of the younger group. And what you'll see is you'll go in there and you'll see what the tax assessor values your property at. But not only that, it's going to give you the information on when the person that bought the property that you're in, when they bought it. And that gives you a gauge on whether or not the property's paid for. Most properties that were purchased, say, 15 to 30 years ago, they're 100% paid for. Now, they may have gone back and refied and borrowed money against it again. You never know. But you have a high probability that those properties that have been purchased 30 years ago, 20 years ago, that they're completely paid off. Now, that's an opportunity for you to contact that person and say, hey, would you be interested in selling? And hey, would you take 10% down of whatever we agree upon as a down payment and carry the balance? And if they say, well, why would I carry the balance? You tell them, say, well, what are you going to do with the money? If I give you, say it's a $100,000 deal. If you're going to give them $100,000, which if you borrowed the money and you give them $100,000, that's what they're going to get. If they're just going to put it in the bank, they're going to get less than 1% interest. But if you can talk them into taking $10,000 down, and they carry a note, the $90,000, which means, in other words, it's secured by a deed of trust, and you say, I will pay you, say 4% interest on this $90,000. We'll amortize it over a period of 10 years, meaning you'll give them a payment, or maybe it'll be 20 years, a payment of principal and interest combined at 4% interest. And during that term, in other words, at the end of 10 years, you'll have it completely paid off. Now, the bonus for them, the plus for them is that they're going to make 4% on $90,000 for the next 10 or 20 years, depending on what you work out. Otherwise, they're going to put it in the bank, and they're going to get less than 1% for 20 years. So let's do the math on that for a second. On $90,000, 20% is $18,000 the first year. It goes down a little bit. Let's just cut it in half. So let's just say it's $9,000 a year for roughly 20 years. So they're going to pick up another $180,000 interest over a period of 20 years if they finance it. Or they're going to get approximately, based on today's interest rates, they're going to get less than $18,000 over a period of 20 years for the same amount of money. So it's kind of a no-brainer. They should take it. So anyways, remember, like I always tell you, the beauty of real estate is that there are no rules when it comes to financing. You can create your own terms. They can be crazy. You can have a 6-month escrow, like my very first escrow, a 1-year escrow. You can do a rent for, a lease with a purchase option to purchase in 6 months or a year or 10 years or whatever. It's beautiful because you can make an agreement with the seller, especially if they own it outright, that works very well for you and works very well for them too. And it can be a real win-win. And like I say, not everybody, and I've sold properties under market value before myself, just because I'm like, I can afford it. Okay, let's see here. Okay, great. So Tony Torres is already going in, and he's looking at his tax assessor records in El Paso, Texas. And so he's learning something right now. And Tony, dig into it, because you're going to dig it. It's EPCAD. That's usually what they do. Every county in Texas, anyway, is usually like whatever the name of the county is, Travis CAD. In his case, it's not El Paso CAD, it's EPCAD. And it might be California CAD or LA CAD or wherever you're at. It doesn't really matter. So that's what you need to do is go look at your tax assessors. Everybody that's watching, I don't care what city you're in, look up tax assessor records, your city, okay? And then you'll stumble into the website, and you'll be able to go in there. You'll be able to find properties by an owner's name. You'll be able to find properties by address. So you can punch in somebody's address, and you'll see, okay, I can see what they paid for it. I can see what year they bought it for, and it's going to give you a wealth of information. And so look, Tony, hey, you run with it, Tony, okay? Okay, because you can be one of my first testimonials and talk about how much damn money you made because I helped you get there. And I'd love it, because like I said, you're 19, I think, and I started at 19, and I'm a lot older now, but I'm a hell of a lot richer now, too. And so it'll be a good thing. It'll be a really good thing. And you too, Ricky Rule in Wisconsin. look up your tax assessor records in Wisconsin, and see what you come up with. Go look up your home that you were raised in, and see what it's worth today. So anyways, guys, I'm showing poor connection. Give me a thumbs up or something if you can hear me, because when I get this poor connection, I start to worry that I go silent on you. So, and I got to run anyhow. I'm meeting a buddy to go have a drink, and I got another 5 minutes. So let me know where you're at. And until then, I'll just keep rambling about real estate. And okay, what do we got here? All right, Tony, you still hear me, I guess. Good. Ricky Rule only goes out for 5 seconds or so. Okay, so apparently I'm intermittently cutting out, and I get it. So Yeah, the print is so small on my phone. I gotta use the readers. So okay. Hey Raheem, glad to have you here, man. Glad you're here. So anyhow, Raheem, everybody else, go look up tax assessor records in your city, or in whatever city you're interested in. Like I say, I always look at the properties nearest me, and look it up. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind, and you're gonna learn more from that than you've probably learned in the last 10 videos from me. It really will be astonishing. It really will be astonishing. So that's your assignment. Okay, I'm giving assignments now. Okay, I'm your professor. So go look up, anybody watching this video, look up your city tax assessor records. You'll be able to go in there. You're going to find a database, just amazing. You're going to be able to go in there and you're going to look up, you're going to find out what your parents paid for your property. You're going to be able to look up what your neighbors, when they bought their property, what they paid for their property. I had one time my wife, she said that a friend of hers, this is like 20 years ago, said, hey, they said, oh man, Tom has a lot of property. It's unbelievable. And it was because I owned all the property in my name. Big mistake. I'll never do it again. So right now, you could look up my name and you won't find that I own anything. And the reason that is because I own all my property in the names of many different names of many different entities, different companies, basically. There's a reason for that. We'll get into it later. But the bottom line is, you'll be surprised, because when you first start out, you just buy property in your own name, and you own tons of property, and then you realize, oh shit, I got to do something and protect this. Excuse me, and you'll see why, and we'll get into more of that later. It's good for estate planning, for passing it on to your kids. I have 4 kids, and one time I had 4 kids under 18, and they can't own property, but they can own percentages of partnerships that do own. Hey, Joe Schmo. Hey, man. Joe, thanks for the compliments earlier. I appreciate the kind word. Sorry, guys. I keep getting interrupted with a phone call. I keep, rejecting the call. What do we got here? Professor. No, listen, so Tony was asking if it's possible to pull up vacant properties. No. But listen to this, Tony. I'm glad you asked that question. Really, really good question. So everybody watch and listen, because I'm going to cut this off in about a minute. Go look up your tax assessor records, your tax assessor properties, okay? You want to look up, it's going to be different in every county, in every city, in every different state, okay? If you see a homestead, that means the people that live there, the people that own the property live there. And the key thing to look for properties that the mailing address is different than like if you look up a property that's, say, 101 Park Avenue, okay? If the owner's address is different than Park Avenue, that means the owner doesn't live there. That's what you call a non-owner occupied property, or a non-homestead property. A homestead property means they live there. If it's a non-owner occupied, that means they don't live there. If you see an address, a mailing address that is different than the actual physical address of the property you're interested in, then that means they live somewhere else. I mean, unless it's a post office, they may live there. But if it's not a post office and it's another physical address, then it means that property is one that they rent. It's not one that they live in. That means there is like a tenfold possibility that they want to sell because they don't live in the property. So remember that. Non-occupied homestead means they live in it, or if it's not a homestead or non-homestead, means they don't live in it. Okay? Or if the address is different, the physical mailing address is different than the address that you're interested in, it means they don't live in it. That means that is a prospect. That is one worth looking at, because it means they probably don't live in it. Higher likelihood of being able to sell it, make a deal, and all that sort of thing. Because they don't live in it, they can sell it. So, but no, Tony, they're not going to know whether the property's vacant or not. Tax assessor has no concerns with that. They only have concerns with values and taxing the hell out of you. So, hey, that's it. We're going to do another video tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Please tune in. Please get friends and family and whoever else that might be interested to tune in. And we'll make a night, or we'll make an hour of it anyways tomorrow night. So I got to go, guys. I got to go meet somebody who's called me twice. I'm going to have to go have a drink and visit with an old buddy. So Flip Anything USA, please subscribe if you don't subscribe. And let me tell you something. I got something really cool coming. I got a great gift I'm going to give to everybody that subscribes. So be sure to subscribe, because I'm going to reward you for doing so. Anyways, that's it for now. Flip Anything USA, and please share, etc., etc. And hopefully we'll all make a lot of money this year. I've already done pretty well. I want you to do the same. I need testimonials. And I, like I said, I don't like to think I'm wasting my time. I want to know that I'm really, really helping you guys. So I really appreciate the question. Really appreciate it. Thanks, Joe Schmo. And we'll let's have a great year, man. Let's have a great year. So that's it for now, guys. Have a great evening, and thanks for watching. Bye.